Search Metrics Track und freue mich, dass ihr mehr oder weniger zahlreich erstmal erschienen seid, aber ich hoffe mal, das wird im Laufe des Tages noch ein bisschen mehr. Yeah, since our first presentation is in English, I'll switch to English now. And our first presentation will deal with a slightly different search engine who has a slightly different approach to search maybe. And we're very happy to have the direct marketing director of Blekko today here with us, Stephen Burns. So give him a welcome, everybody, and it's your turn now.
Thank you. And thank you for having me here, and thank you for coming. Is everybody here from Berlin? Or raise your hand if you're from Berlin. Outside of Berlin? Outside of the country? Where are you guys from? Wow. Great. Great. You came a long way. Or I guess I came a long way. So, I'm the director of marketing. I've been working with actually the Blekko team for 12 years now. We did some other startups prior, and I've been working with the same group of people. I'm Canadian originally, and I worked at AOL Canada, and I transferred from AOL Canada to AOL in the States, in Silicon Valley in 2001. And then I met this group of engineers that I've been working with for the last 12 years. So it's like a big family. So here's Blekko, our search engine. We launched in November 2010. It took about 2.5 years to build the search engine with around 15 engineers. And we're based in Redwood City, which is about 20 miles south of San Francisco. We have 43 employees now. We're just moving to a new office space this week as I'm away. All my stuff's in boxes and somebody else is moving it. We're moving to a big space. We were pretty cramped. And our whole mission is to get rid of spam from your web results, your search results. Here, we consider ourselves the third search engine in the American market. There's Matt Cutts from Google, there's Harry from Bing, and there's our CEO, Rich Skrenta, off to the side at a conference. And a lot of people, when we first made the search engine, asked us, why would you build a search engine? Are you crazy? And a lot of venture capitalists thought we were crazy, to compete with Google. Well, here's the team of crazy people here. Chuck, our VP of Ops, is ex-Google. He 4 years ex-Google. He started many startups, a couple startups before Google. Our VP of Engineering is PhD in machine learning from Caltech in Stanford. And our CEO, Rich Skrenta, who I've been working with for 12 years now, founded Topics prior to Blekko. You aware of Topics? It's a community news aggregate site in the U.S. And we ended up selling that to newspaper conglomerates in the U.S. Back in 2006. Before that, he founded DMOZ, the Open Directory Project, in 1999, 98, and AOL or Netscape bought it, and then AOL bought Netscape 2 weeks later, and then I started working with them. Blekko has raised $50 million in funding. The company we're 5 years old now. Our investors are top tier Silicon Valley VCs. In our last round, we took our top tier is CMEA Capital, Pivot North, and USVP Venture Partners. In our last round last year, we took a strategic investor, Yandex, the #1 search engine in Russia. They have 65% market share there, and they are a 20-year-old company, have been profitable for 17 years. We're very pleased to have them as an investor, and I'll tell you a little story later how that came in handy. There's an image of what the internet looks like. I thought that was kind of neat. Blekko's mission is not to crawl all the web's information. We try to be exclusive and we try to prioritize our efforts to crawl only quality content. If you have a zero-ranked website in China or Germany, for that matter, we're not going to crawl every page on your site. We do this deliberately. We want to include the best content. If we don't think we would send anyone to your site, then we won't crawl it. Here's some statistics. There's Bryn, my friend. He's in the server room there with all our server racks. You can see all the data there. I don't have to read that to you. 15 years ago, when you created a search engine, you would have it crawl the entire web, and then you wrote a spam classifier to take out as much spam as possible. Just like an email filter today that is supposed to get rid of your email spam. But this made sense when spam was 10, 20, 30% of the web. The problem now is most of the web is spam. It's material that's not written by expert or enthusiasts. It's been written specifically so that people can get search ranking and traffic to their sites to make money. There's a lot of bad stuff out there, and we believe it's about over 90% of the web is spam. Back in 1996, the very early web, a big enough web for Yahoo to go public on the basis of a hand-edited directory. Back then, the web was 250,000 hosts. In 1996, we would search by drilling down in a directory. Users would click on recreation and sports, and then on autos to find information on their Ford Taurus or their BMW 3 Series. The web was really small back then, and this way of searching worked quite well. 4 short years later, the web has gotten too big, and keyword search has taken over. Keyword search doesn't work on a small web. If you type in 2 words and put in a logical and between them, and you don't get any results, because the web is not big enough to have the redundancy to answer your query. Once the web starts to get bigger, though, directories become unwieldy to navigate, and the web, you want to use keyword search for that. PageRank. Everybody know what PageRank is? I guess so, right? Everyone knows this is the story of how Google got great. They invented PageRank. Larry Page, PageRank. They ranked the web. But this is really only part of the story. It's not even the interesting part of the story. PageRank is an algorithm designed to assign a score to a web page. But what does it have to do with searches? The real innovation that Google pioneered was to use anchor text to rank documents on the web. They would look around the web and find all the links to a page that associate the underlying ahref on the page. So if someone came to Google and typed in hedgehogs, Google would ask, what page did most people point links to hedgehogs at? Well, this was innovative. It was brilliant, very novel back then. Search engines like InfoSpace and AltaVista didn't do this. They would just look at the words on your page, and we're going to look at the words on your page, and then they would point to you. And that's how we are going to rank. Brilliant innovation. It worked really well in the 2000 web. Let me get a little drink here. Now, fast forward another 10 years. We've gone from 7 million hosts to over 250 million hosts. And most of this material has been created to exploit Google's ranking algorithm. So you can get free traffic and make money from it. And we're going to 1 trillion pages on the web now. Here's an interesting paper, a research paper that came out several years ago. It was from a a Microsoft engineer and a university researcher, where they took all the click logs out of Microsoft Search over a period of a year and a half and asked how many things were clicked on. We've got 1 billion pages in our index. Now, how many of these 20 billion URLs have ever been clicked on? And they came up with some shocking results. What they found was, over the entire year and a half survey, was that only 550 million URLs had only ever been clicked on by 220 million users, and the monthly average was 50 to 60 million URLs. This was shocking to Microsoft researchers. Why do we have a 20 billion page index when every month the users only click on 50 to 60 million pages on sites? It turns out the web of things you want to look for is way smaller than the World Wide Web. Then they asked, does this make sense? So they did some napkin math. How many things are out there in the world? Let's look at all these. We got Netflix, they have 70,000 movies in their index, maybe not as much now. This is just mostly American sites, but the English Wikipedia has 4 million pages. There's 15 million US businesses, 20 million Amazon product pages, 50 million Tumblr pages, 70 million WordPress pages, 500 million Twitter accounts, and so on. And Facebook has 1 billion. They say they have 1 billion accounts, and that. Look at all, and then what's the rest of this? The rest of this stuff. You could add in another sliver of more information for the rest of the world. The thing is, when you add up all this stuff, it comes out to low-digit billions. You don't get a trillion. There's 350,000 airports in the world for every city you can ever fly to. You're not ever going to get up to 1 million. There's just not that many things in the world. Let's look at Wikipedia, for example. Wikipedia's growth started to trail off in 2007, and people started writing articles about this and saying, well, what's wrong with Wikipedia? Nobody wants to write on the online community anymore. They don't like Jimmy Wales anymore. Do people, what's going on? Why is it losing traffic? Why is it? Well, it's losing. It's done. It's done. They wrote the encyclopedia. The goal was to make a big encyclopedia, and this thing it's finished. It's got a page about everything. Aardvarks, Marilyn Manson, to Zulus. It's been written about. The world has to make more stuff, new people, more events for people to write about. It's complete. So then we can see it trailing off. On the other hand, the World Wide Web is growing. Let's say I wanted to sell phentermine. This is a diet pill. I'm going to make a great web. Look at this awesome website. I'm going to put all the proper SEO keywords on it, and Google's going to crawl me, and I'm going to get some traffic and make some money. Probably direct people to a Canadian pharmacy so they could buy this. There, I'm in the number 2 position. Buy phenterminedrug.com. I'm only in the second spot. What do I got to do? Oh, we're at PubCon. This is from PubCon 2 years ago. We meet this guy. He's walking around the trade show floor. Need backlinks? Give me your business card. He had a stack of business cards. So I give him my phentermine card, and he could send me some traffic, some links. There's all kinds of software available to you on the web, like Six Submitter will send you a bunch of Black Hat links. We got Black Hat World, Crusher Competition. There's even forums online to teach you how to spam the web and take advantage of Google's ranking. You could actually buy .edu accounts on this forum. And there's Topics, our old company that we work for. I guess we're so popular that there's now an auto poster software that can get past their CAPTCHA. And there's even beat CAPTCHA software that they're making. You could, get past the registration gate. And there's domain parks. This is a Web 1.0 domain park, Ethiopian Moya. Does this look like something Ethiopian to you? She's supposedly the most famous. Do you guys know about this girl? She's the most famous girl on the internet. And she was a model that did some shot, and then she went and sued because every domain park had her photo on it. And this has nothing to do with Ethiopia. So you make a spelling mistake and you get to a domain park, and now you've got all this garbage. Spell Adobe incorrectly and you get to abobi.com. You may download some malware for Acrobat or Flash that can take over your computer. It's just lots of it out there. And then some of these domain parks, the software that creates it is so magnificent that it makes it even look like a real website that's selling products. Battery Mag. And this is one of my favorites. Look at this, a beautiful site. This is a domain park, icecreammaker.com. Who knows? They're probably not even selling ice cream. They're pointing them to somewhere else. But you give the domain park a list of all your domains, and they'll spit out websites for you that can sell ice cream makers and make you some money on the side. Mechanical Turk, Amazon's. You could go on here, and if you want to make a couple extra pennies a day, you can write content for them. The researchers said that Mechanical Turk generates 42% spam. And here's one of their jobs on Mechanical Turk. Must be written in native English, use proper grammar, must contain the exact word or phrase at least once in a paragraph, blah, 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 Oh, look at this. I had the most amazing chow fun yesterday. So it's a recipe. They're talking about sell a recipe for something. My sister had come over and decided to whip up a batch of it. She is such a good cook. I really envy her. She took the chow fun noodles and really transformed it into something special. This person never had chow fun. She probably doesn't even have a sister. But she paid her 10 cents to write this. Here's some other examples, create a Twitter account, for 15 cents. Rewrite and answer cooking-related questions for 5 cents. It's everywhere. And then back at PubCon, there was another booth next to us after we saw that backlinks guy, and they had this video playing. I took a picture of the video, and they offered services to give you backlinks, and they show this video of these Indian women in cubicles. All they are do is typing all day, that stuff from Mechanical Turk and other things to get your site ranked. Look at her, hi, I'm spamming the web. Maybe she'll give us some good medical advice or something for, So, and that backlinks guy, it reminds a story of JCPenney. JCPenney a few years ago hired an SEO. JCPenney is a big retailer in the U.S. It's like Kmart or Walmart or whatever. They 2 years ago, they hired an SEO firm who did an excellent job for them in getting them keyword search around Christmas time for any one-word products like shoes, dresses, or drapes. JCPenney had the number 1 position on Google. So the New York Times kind of got curious, and they did a story on it, and they found out that they had hired, JCPenney did some black hat SEO, and Google ended up slapping them on the wrist. I think Overstock got caught posting links on .edu sites. So the problem is if you can go to that guy to get on page 1 of the results, it's not an impartial algorithm. All it is doing is counting votes from a trillion-page anonymous corpus called a web. And that's just not a good way to rank material. It's impartial and manipulatable, if that's a word, with money. You can buy your way to the number 1 position. What is summary? I'll tell you, maybe funny. You guys like funny server stories? I mean, SEO people. This isn't really a techie. Well, silly. We have 1,500 servers, and about 3 or 4 ops guys. So, it's like babysitting a big baby when anything breaks on it. And the way it works is it's. I'm the marketing guy, but everything is we call buckets, and there's disks in each drive. There's DRAM. And then it lives in 3 places. All the information lives in 3 places throughout on the servers, so that if something dies, it'll get rewritten back to it once they replace it. Kind of like a RAID drive, but it's only 3, not 6. So remember last year, I don't know. Funny story, with Yandex being a strategic partner, that actually came in handy. I guess it was Thailand, there was flooding and you couldn't buy disk drives, so the price of disk drives doubled. And we just got our $15 million from Yandex, and we wanted to double our cluster. And you couldn't buy hard drives. So the Yandex people, the Russians, came through and they said, don't worry, we'll get you hard drives. And skids of hard drives showed up in 2 weeks, even though nobody else in the US could get hard drives from Thailand. So we've built it in. Why I say we're the third search engine is, there's DuckDuckGo and other search engines in the US market. But we consider ourselves third because we actually built a search engine from scratch. We have a fully algorithmic search under the hood running. And what we've done is we've taken a human curated layer or filter and put it on top of that to help weed out the spam. We have some algorithms that do detect spam. But we've added the human touch. And what we want to do is we want to deliver an editorial view on search. Just like the news is editorial. In the US, I don't know if you know this, but CNN is quite liberal and Fox News is conservative. We believe search is also editorial. There's Steve Ballmer from Microsoft. He said this last year. He said, I would issue you all a kind challenge. Try Bing. 70% of the time, there won't be a difference in the results from Google. That 15% of the time, Bing will be better, and 15% of the time, Google will be better. Isn't that the stupidest thing you ever heard? Why even use Bing then? Oh, and then they came out with it. This is kind of funny. I thought this was kind of funny. They came out with this, their advertising campaign last month. I don't know if you guys got it over here, but they did Bing It On, where you could do a search in there and compare it to Google results. But the funny thing is, we did this 2 years ago. We have /Monty. You could do a query with, I'll show it to you, /Monty and compare all 3 search engines. So here's WebMD. We know these. WebMD is, and all their content is written by doctors and is approved by a board of medical practitioners and doctors in the US. It's quality content. And on the right is a spam page where someone just cut and pasted some information on curing your headache so they would end up on a Google search result so that you can click on their ads and make money. And the system is gamed. Look at all the cure for a headache. I've got Jezebel, somebody's blog, a WikiHow, which is probably written by a spam farm. It's hard to read up there, anyways. So a bunch of blogs are telling me my health information. Am I going to trust somebody who's got a blog to cure my disease? Or, well, headache isn't really that bad, but. And there's our 3-engine Monty. So if you go on Blekko, you could type in a query and then put /Monty, and this will come up comparing all the search engines, the 3 search engines. And you can see where we have the cross out there. We actually banned all of Bing's results. Google's we ban, the WikiHow, we don't even include them in our index. And our results are WebMD, MedicineNet, Women's Health, all trusted health sites that we've vetted and checked out. And there's an example of the search result for cure for headaches. We have, so if I click on the health in the top right, the health slash tag, you can actually see what's in that slash tag. And this is edited by, we have 6 reference librarians on staff who are curating slash tags nonstop. And we have users that volunteer to, like a Wikipedia model, to edit a slash tag. Like I'm passionate about motorcycles, I edit the motorcycle slash tag and put in my favorite motorcycle sites. Here in the health slash tag, we have doctors, or at least one doctor. So there's subcategories of, you could zoom down, subcategories of health topics, and then underneath, it's just catching the bottom, is a list of 162 general health sites like CDC and WebMD, etc. Now, if I click on one of the users up there, this guy with the beard, Dr. Ed Bennett. I met this guy at one of the trade shows. He came in and he saw Blekko and he said, "This is great." So he was really upset. He's a doctor in Maryland, and he started creating some slash tags before even our librarians were curating them. He created cancer in hospitals. He took the hospital slash tag. Look what he did. He put in 4,400 domains into it of every American hospital. We thought it was so great, we promoted it as a Blekko slash tag. And now we all can benefit from his work and search hospitals. I could search for cancer or burn clinic or children's hospitals and have a pure search of hospitals in the U.S. You could do this for your country. Well, it might be more difficult. An English language country might be a lot easier. But I could do Canadian hospitals or whatever, and share that. So we believe that algorithms plus people will remove the spam. And our users have, not just our users that I was mentioning, have curated thousands of slash tags. And we've got a category for everything. And it just keeps growing. And here's some of our users who have our users page and some of the slash tags they've created and they use. Okay, we got time. We're going to do SEO tools now. So we crawl the web, a million times a day, and we have all this information, and we believe it should be shared and that you can see it all. So we started showing off all the background data like SEO and put it into our SEO tools. Now, I just got this deck sent to me this morning from the product manager on the SEO tools. SEO tools originally, when it came out, we gave free data, and everybody enjoyed seeing all the inbound links and everything. And then in August, we put up a paywall for $99 to sell this. We got to make money. We got to pay our salaries, so we had to make money. So we put out this, and then now that we're charging, we did a redesign. And this deck is going to show you what the new product's going to look like. We're launching it at PubCon. So you're actually getting to see it before PubCon. Available today. So we do on the first page, we give a domain overview. We give you a rank. What you do is you input your URL. And the rank is a Blekko rank score. There's no top number. And then to the right, you see all the circles. We have neighborhoods, we call them. So we took our slash tag data, and from all your inbound links, if your inbound links are coming from certain categories in slash tags, we could tell you what they're coming from. So we could say SEO blogs or tech blogs or SEO sites from our filters are telling us what those are. I think we're going to add another circle over there that's going to say spam, so that you'll know that if there's spam sites pointing to your site. So that will give you a good idea. And then we give a SEO report, a general report card on your domain. We're going to analyze. This is brand new. This has just been updated. So we can analyze your and give you tips on HTML, certain links, etc. If there's bad language. And then you could also use the tool, not just look at your own website. You could look at other websites and analyze them too, and see what they're doing right. That maybe you can get an edge up on your competitor. Here's IMDb inbound links organized by category. So that's what I was talking about. You can see IMDb where all their traffic's coming from. Movies, inventors. Inbound, outbound, internal link reports. The number of links, sites linking back to your site is extremely important to your site's ranking. And then we show all the hosts linking to IMDb, and I could rank that by rank or the number of links. And then I could pivot to comparisons. I could see incoming links in real time. That's what's great. One of our last updates last month, we increased our crawl. So the other thing with some other SEO tools is that you put in a keyword query or whatever, and it takes 3 days for it to come back to you. Is that right? You have to wait till the data comes back to you. Well, our crawl is crawling so fast that you're going to get that data immediately, within minutes or seconds. You can see all the inbound links from a host, and you could go through that list. Washington Post. We could locate a page by IP address or ISP. That's pretty cool. Outbound links from a page. You can see where the links on your page are going out to. Internal links. See where you're linking internally on your site. And then domain comparison. My colleague likes Star Wars and Star Trek. So he's comparing the StarWars.com to StarTrek.com. And I think these graphs will be updated. They look kind of old, but we can compare all the links and where they're getting all their inbound links from. And this is the instant SEO data. So a story, Felix Baumgartner's supersonic jump. This hits the news, MSNBC, and within seconds we crawl it, and it says 8 minutes ago there, we see the story. And then you can go in and start analyzing the anchor text and see who's linking to it and where all the inbound links are coming from. You can see the last crawled at 36 minutes ago, first seen. We've got some other things. In our search results, under each result, there's an SEO link, and you could click on that, and then you can, I believe you might have to pay for some of it, though. Might be part of the subscription. But I'm going to give you all a free subscription for a month today. If you leave me your business card here, and then I'll bring it back, and we'll send you an email with the passcode to try out the free trial. Is that it? Is that cool? Don't get too excited. Okay, so we got SEO, domain links, and sections. What's cool about sections is we show you what our crawler sees. So another thing about these tools is that what makes us different from other products is that we have the view of a search engine. We're crawling and indexing, so we can actually give you a ranking point of view. And if it's in dark black letters, that means the crawler picked it up and likes it. If it's grayed out, like down here, it shows the text as that's not important to us. Like navigation or footers is not important to a crawler, so we don't index it. So if you were working on a page, one of your pages you can analyze and say, why isn't Blekko crawling me correctly? You can go in and actually fix it or see why it's not getting picked up. You could search by IP and AdSense ID. You get domain reports, IP info. And we have cash. That's for $99 a month, and it will give you a free try on that. Now, I got some time. I'm going to show you another product that will help you guys. We did Blekko News. So this is called Roxy. We could have did news.blekko.com and had news results when you search. Since we're crawling all the time, we detect when something, we can mark something as a news site. When you call CNN or Reuters or whatever, we have a slash tag called /news, and you could and search for news. But we had a hackathon at work, and one of the engineers came up with this idea. So we ended up turning it into a separate product to make it more fun to read news. Now, great. So that's why you never do live demos when speaking. Let's go here. Says I'm connected. Renew my DHCP. That's not cool. So we'll do Wi-Fi. Is there Wi-Fi in the basement here? Oh, I know what to do here. Let's close it. Yeah, it did. So we took the news and put it into that. You can see, and it allows you to, when a story comes up in the block, you can click on Facebook. You can click on This Rocks, and it will post to your face. You sign in through Facebook, so it will post to your Facebook wall. Let's say there's a story about the new iPhone 5, and you go, "This rocks, great story." On your iPhone, it shows up on your Facebook activity. One of your friends can come and click on the story, and it will drive them back to the Roxy page. But what's great is that the Roxy page is embeddable, and we have a free embed code under each page. There's thousands of topics, and if there's not a topic, you can create one on the fly. I can go in and type in knitting, and it'll go through our slash tags and grab it and create a knitting news page. And on that knitting news page is an embed button, which will give you 2 lines of code. It's a div and some JavaScript. You could put that on. Let's say you have a client, or you had a blog or a client that had an Apple website, and they wanted to have Apple news or knitting news. Oh, let's say they were a knitting company. They had some yarn shop here. You can put in that knitting, embed that code on a news page for them, and then they could have traffic. So their users would come, click on a knitting story, like, "Oh, look at this new pink yarn," and it posts to their Facebook. And then when their friends clicked on the story, it would bring them back to your customer's news page, the Roxy news page. So you're driving cyclical traffic back and forth for free. And it's a free embed service that we're giving. The only catch that we have is in the corner we have a Blekko search box. And that's a way to get that out there. It seems the internet has died here. We've got about 9 minutes left. I could take some questions if you like.
Yeah. Any question? Okay.
And don't forget to leave your business card up. I have Blekko stickers here, and my business card. If you have any questions and you don't want to ask here, you could ask me outside and we could talk. You see me around, feel free to ask me any questions.
Okay, here's my question. How do you optimize a website, say a commercial website selling shoes, to rank well on Blekko?
Well, we look for Blekko mainly looks for quality. So if the site is about shoes and it's selling shoes and it's legitimate, then our algorithms will detect it and make sure it's a good site and it'll do well. It's hard to say, you know. It's all based on, we say, quality, you know.
So do you have to add a lot of great content, maybe more content than you'd add, you'd usually add for Google or Bing?
We also look at links the way Google somehow looks at links. But we also look at the sections of each page and the content and how well it is. It's as a marketing guy, it's hard for me to explain, you know, that it's either, you know, when you look at a site, either it's crap and it's a spam site and you look at it, or it's a real shoe site. If you're a real shoe store, you know, it'll do well, you know.
Okay.
Any more questions in the room? Okay, then maybe I have a little question at the end. You showed that you have users using Blekko and who add quality sites to the slash tag, whatever slash tag they prefer. How do we make sure that not one SEO guy comes, registers as a user, and adds his, as you would say, spam site to your catalog? Do you have an editorial for that? Or?
Yes, we have a way of vetting that. Our reference librarians on staff, it comes up in the queue when they apply to be a editor. Like, say I want to edit cars. I'm a car enthusiast. Then they read it, check them out. And then they keep an eye on him. And if he starts spamming it with all his car sites, then he gets kicked out. We've had that happen in the beginning, but it doesn't happen that often. Okay. And a lot of people they think they're spamming Blekko, but they're not. They're creating their own even if they create your own slash tag, because it's your username, it's in front of the slash tag when you create it yourself. So it's /burns/cars. So that I could throw in whatever I want in there. It's only for me if I make it private, or I could share it with people, but it's not going to affect the Blekko slash tags.
Okay. So I think people are coming up in for the next presentation. So thank you, Stephen Burns.
Okay, thanks.
Hope you enjoyed it. So, and as all our speakers, we'd like to hand you one of our Helden vodka, so the hero vodka, because every speaker for us is our OMCap hero. So I'd like to present this one.
Thanks.
This is manufactured in Berlin. So
great.
Enjoy it in your hotel room and
yeah,
see you at the party.
Or I'll see you out there. Let's have a drink.
Yeah.
Everybody grab a sticker here. I don't want to take these home. So put them on your computers. Thanks. Thank you very much.
Yeah.